Hello. You may have noticed a difference in the background here, and indeed in the sound quality. That's because I'm sitting in what passes for a conservatory round here, because this is the only chair that I'm comfortable in right now. I overdid it with the weightlifting yesterday and I've done my back in. Osteopath tomorrow. However, I got a mail from one of my subscribers, and she said she's a similar age to myself and she can't understand what's happened to the world. Things seem to have gone to hell in a handbasket. And I replied to her that yes, I've often got that feeling myself. But then I started to think about, is it really as bad as that? The fact is, I'm banging the drum for an injustice that is happening to Tommy Robinson recently. But as a society, we've had our evildoers, and I'm using evildoers in quotes. That is, people that the press and the media unanimously agree are awful people. And the whole of society has worked against them. And everybody's agreed that they're bad because that's the story they've been fed. Now we have the internet. We're finding out other things. Tommy Robinson would have been universally a terrible man, as he is in all the newspapers. We on the internet know different. There was a case in the 50s of a woman called Ruth Ellis. She killed her upper-class lover. She was a working-class girl who thought she was glamorous. She fell in with a handsome rogue who had a sports car, and she became pregnant by him. I don't know whether she had a miscarriage. I don't remember what happened, but the fact is she was obviously suffering from postnatal depression when she got a gun. Guns were quite easily obtainable in Britain in the 50s, and she shot this ex-boyfriend of hers who'd abandoned her. She was condemned to death, and she was the last woman executed in Britain, and I believe that she was the major cause for the ending of the death penalty in this country, ultimately. But the point is, during the trial and around the whole situation, all the newspapers agreed that she was a terrible woman, a floozy, a harlot, and that she killed this nice man because he wasn't being nice to her, in her eyes. And when in fact most people now agree that what was happening was she was a working class girl who killed an upper class man, and the society of the time didn't take too kindly to that. Had there been an internet at the time, a whole lot of other stuff about Ruth Ellis would have come out and we'd have been aware of it. And if she had been executed, there would have been the same feelings of despair that we're feeling now about a working class lad who's speaking out against a set of vested interests and governmental structures, in the case of Tommy Robinson. And I said to this person who'd written into me, you know, the story of the Garden of Eden, that's what it means. It's the story of living in a paradise in which you don't know anything. And then you choose, in this case, the internet is our fruit of the tree of knowledge. You choose to consume that, and suddenly you find yourself in a wilderness of confusing moral choices and information that hurts. And we have to decide whether that's what we want or not. We can allow our government to return us to this paradise of ignorance, or we can hang on to our fruit of the tree of knowledge and, taking it with us, go out and, what was the expression, live our lives in pain. But it's the pain that comes with knowledge. Well, that's my sermon for today. I suppose that this might be partly to do with all the ibuprofen I've been consuming.